Welcome to my channel. Old Valuable Coins. Did you know some US $quarter coins are worth thousands of dollars today? Let's look at the top 4 most valuable quarters ever found. At number 1, the rare 1932 D Washington quarter, worth up to $20,000 in high grade. Next, the 1932 S Washington quarter, a low mintage coin collectors love. Third, the 1950 D over S quarter, famous for its mint era and high collector demand. And fourth, the 1964 D silver quarter. First up, the 1965 $quarter coin from the United States is one of the most talked about coins among collectors and treasure hunters. This coin holds a special place in American coin history because 1965 was the year when the US Mint made a major change, moving from 90% silver quarters to the modern copper-nickel clad composition. Many people don't realize how this small change created one of the most interesting transitions in US coinage. Let's explore everything you need to know about the 1965 Washington quarter: its background, design, metal composition, minting history, varieties, eras, and the value it can reach today depending on its condition and rarity. The 1965 quarter features the classic Washington design that had been used since 1932. On the obverse side, you'll find the profile of George Washington facing left, with the word Liberty above his head and the motto "In God We Trust" on the left side. Below Washington's portrait, the year 1965 is clearly displayed. The reverse side shows a bold image of the American bald eagle with its wings spread, clutching arrows, and olive branches below, symbolizing strength and peace. The inscriptions United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and $quarter surround the eagle. The key change for this year was in the metal composition. Before 1965, US quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But because of a nationwide silver shortage and rising silver prices, the US Mint decided to switch to a copper-nickel clad composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel over a pure copper core. This decision makes the 1965 quarter the very first non-silver Washington quarter in American history. Collectors often look for transitional errors, coins that were accidentally struck using the old silver planchets intended for 1964 quarters. These silver 1965 quarters are extremely rare and valuable. They can be identified by their weight. A silver quarter weighs about 6.25 grams, while a clad 1965 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. If your 1965 quarter feels heavier or you get it weighed at 6.25 grams, there's a good chance you might have one of those rare silver transitional error coins. Another key sign of a silver 1965 quarter is the color of the edge. Regular clad quarters show a visible copper-colored layer on the side, but a silver quarter will have a solid silver-gray edge without the copper line. Always check the edge under bright light. It's one of the easiest ways to identify a rare find. Now let's talk about mint marks. The 1965 quarters were all struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and no mint marks were used. So if your coin has no mint mark, that's completely normal for this year. The Mint produced over 1.8 billion 1965 quarters, making it one of the most common quarters in circulation. However, finding one in mint state or with unique striking characteristics can still make it worth much more than face value. When evaluating value, condition is everything. Circulated 1965 quarters generally hold face value, 25 cents, but uncirculated coins or those graded mint state can be worth from a few dollars up to hundreds depending on the strike quality, luster, and absence of contact marks. A coin graded MS65 or higher can fetch good value, especially if it has brilliant shine and strong details. Some collectors focus on errors and varieties. Popular ones include double-die obverse coins, off-center strikes, broad strikes, or coins struck on the wrong metal planchet. The rare silver planchet error is the most desirable, often selling for thousands of dollars. In 2024, examples of the 1965 silver error quarter have sold for more than $7,000, depending on grade and certification. Another interesting fact about the 1965 quarter is its place in the so-called coin shortage era. During the mid-1960s, the US experienced a serious shortage of coins in circulation. The Mint responded by striking billions of clad coins without mint marks from 1965 through 1967. This was meant to discourage hoarding, as people were saving the older silver coins. Because of this huge mintage, most 1965 quarters are common. But that's exactly why finding a silver version or striking error is such a big deal. It stands out in a sea of ordinary coins. For collectors, the thrill of finding one in pocket change or an old collection is like discovering treasure. When examining your 1965 quarter, look carefully for strike quality, luster, and surfaces. Use a magnifying glass or coin loupe to check Washington's hair details and the eagle's feathers. If they are sharply defined, you might have a higher grade piece. Avoid cleaning your coin, as cleaning reduces its value and can leave scratch marks visible under magnification. The historical context also makes this coin special. 1965 marked the start of a new era in U.S. coinage, the end of silver in circulation coins. The Coinage Act of 1965 authorized the production of clad coins and removed silver from dimes and quarters. It changed the face of American money permanently. That's why this coin is more than just a quarter. It's a symbol of economic change and adaptation. If you're collecting 1965 quarters, it's a good idea to check multiple coins for differences. Some have stronger strikes, others have faint lettering or off-center designs. Keep your best examples in protective holders, away from humidity and scratches. The market for US quarters continues to grow as more people enter the hobby of coin collecting. Even common coins like the 1965 quarter can become valuable in the future if they are preserved in pristine condition. Remember, rarity, condition, and demand together determine value. Collectors also love storytelling coins, those that represent major transitions or historical shifts. The 1965 Washington quarter fits perfectly into that category. It bridges the Silver Age and the modern era, showing how America's coinage evolved to meet economic challenges. Whether you're a beginner collector or an experienced numismatist, always weigh your 1965 quarters, check the edges, and look for unusual signs. That one coin sitting in your old change jar could be worth far more than you imagine. To sum it up, the 1965 quarter-dollar coin is a must-know piece of US coin history. It's widely available, yet within its ranks hide some of the rarest transitional errors ever discovered. Keep your eyes open for silver edges, double-die strikes, or off-center minting. Each of these could turn a simple coin into a valuable collectible. Next up, the 1974 quarter-dollar coin from the United States is one of the most recognized coins in American history, a true reflection of the country's minting excellence and everyday use. In this video, we're going to explore everything about the 1974 Washington quarter: its history, design, metal composition, mint marks, errors, and the values these coins can hold for collectors today. Whether you are a beginner collector or an expert numismatist, this detailed information will help you understand why the 1974 quarter dollar is an important part of US coinage. The 1974 quarter dollar belongs to the Washington Quarter Series, which began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. Designed by John Flanagan, this quarter features the familiar bust of George Washington on the obverse, or front side, of the coin. Above his head, you'll find the word Liberty, while beneath his chin appears the national motto "In God We Trust." The date, 1974, is clearly displayed at the bottom. On the reverse side, the 1974 quarter shows a proud American bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and defense. Below the arrows is an olive branch, representing peace. At the top, you can read United States of America, and just below that, the words E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. At the bottom, the denomination quarter dollar is clearly written. This design remained unchanged from 1932 to 1998, except for special commemorative issues. Now, let's discuss the minting details. The 1974 quarter was produced in 3 different US mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins carry no mint mark and were produced in large numbers. The Denver mint coins bear the D mint mark located on the right side of Washington's ponytail, and the San Francisco mint coins have an S mint mark, primarily issued as proof coins for collectors. The composition of the 1974 quarter is a copper-nickel clad, made up of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. These coins have a standard diameter of 24.3 mm and weigh 5.67 grams. They do not contain silver, as the US Mint stopped using silver in circulating quarters after 1964. Despite this, certain errors or special varieties of the 1974 quarter can still hold surprising value for collectors. Let's talk about mint errors and varieties, which are the most exciting parts for coin collectors. Some 1974 quarters are known to have been struck off-center, double-struck, or struck on the wrong planchet, meaning they were accidentally struck on metal blanks intended for other coins, like dimes or nickels. Such error coins can be worth from a few $100s up to several $1,000s, depending on rarity and condition. Another interesting collectible variety is the 1974 D quarter with a strong strike and high-quality luster. Coins that have been preserved in mint state condition, graded MS65 or higher, can be worth significantly more than their face value. Some pristine examples can even sell for $100 or more in auctions or online marketplaces. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, with the S Mint mark, were made specifically for collectors using polished dies and specially prepared planchets. These proof quarters have a mirror-like finish and can be worth between $2 and $10 depending on condition, but certain flawless proof coins can fetch higher prices among collectors who seek perfection in their coin sets. When it comes to circulation finds, most 1974 quarters you encounter today will have heavy wear from decades of use. However, even a circulated coin can hold interest if it displays a unique error or a sharp strike. Always check for doubled lettering, off-center designs, or other visible minting mistakes that can dramatically increase a coin's value. The 1974 Washington quarter also carries historical importance because it was produced during a time of economic change in the United States. The early 1970s saw rising metal costs and inflation, leading to increased interest in coin collecting. Many collectors at that time began saving uncirculated rolls of quarters, which is why some high-quality 1974 quarters still survive today. For those who love searching through pocket change, coin rolls, or bank boxes, the 1974 quarter can be a rewarding find. While it might not contain silver, its value can go beyond 25 cents if you locate a rare variety, an error, or an uncirculated coin with exceptional luster and detail. If you are building a Washington quarter collection, the 1974 issue is an essential piece to include. It represents the final years before the United States celebrated its bicentennial with the 1976 special edition quarters. So, having a 1974 quarter helps complete the historical transition in your collection. Now let's talk about grading. Coin grading plays a huge role in determining value. Coins in lower grades, such as good or fine, are generally worth their face value, but coins graded extremely fine or higher start to gain collector interest. Mint state coins, graded MS60 to MS70, are especially desirable. A 1974 D or 1974 no mint mark quarter in MS67 condition can command premium prices. When examining your 1974 quarter, look closely at the high points of Washington's hair, the cheek, and the eagle's breast feathers. If the details are sharp and there's little to no wear, it could be a high-grade example. Also, pay attention to the coin's color and luster. Bright, original mint shine adds to its visual appeal and potential value. Collectors also value coins that have not been cleaned, as cleaning can cause scratches or unnatural shine that lowers the coin's grade. Always store your coins properly, ideally in a coin holder or airtight capsule, to prevent tarnishing or damage over time. Over the years, the 1974 quarter dollar has maintained a steady place in the market. While it might not be the rarest Washington quarter, it's still sought after due to its classic design, historical significance, and occasional high-value errors. Collectors worldwide look for these coins to complete their sets or to find that one special minting mistake that turns an ordinary quarter into a valuable treasure. Today, with the growth of online coin communities, coin auctions, and educational videos, the 1974 quarter continues to gain attention. Enthusiasts share their discoveries, discuss die varieties, and showcase the beauty of this enduring American coin. Whether you are searching through your pocket change, examining old rolls, or browsing coin shops, always keep an eye out for the 1974 quarter with unique features. Next up, the 1977 D Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint and features the classic portrait of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan. This design first appeared in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. The obverse shows the left-facing bust of George Washington, with the word Liberty inscribed above, "In God We Trust" to the left, and the date 1977 below. Just next to the ribbon at Washington's ponytail, you'll see the D Mint mark, the hallmark of the Denver Mint. Now let's talk about the reverse side. The reverse design features a majestic bald eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness for defense, surrounded by olive branches that represent peace. Above the eagle, you'll see the inscription United States of America and the phrase E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. Below the eagle, you'll find the denomination, quarter dollar. It's one of the most iconic reverse designs in U.S. coinage history. The 1977 D quarter dollar is made of a copper-nickel clad composition, which means it has an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. The coin weighs 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter. Its reeded edge gives it a distinct texture that collectors and enthusiasts can identify instantly. During 1977, the Denver Mint produced over 256 million of these quarters, which means the coin is fairly common in circulation. However, not all 1977 D quarters are equal. Some have rare mint errors or unique characteristics that can significantly increase their value to collectors. So, let's discuss what makes certain 1977 D quarters valuable and what to look for if you're searching through your coin jars or collections. One of the most sought-after varieties for the 1977 D quarter includes off-center strikes. When the coin blank isn't perfectly centered in the die, part of the design may appear missing on one side. These off-center errors can make a coin worth anywhere from $20 to several $100s, depending on how far off the strike is and whether the date remains visible. Another valuable error is the double die strike, which can occur on either the obverse or reverse. A doubled image may appear on the lettering, numbers, or even Washington's profile. While rare, such errors can boost the coin's value substantially, sometimes up to $100 or more, depending on visibility and condition. You might also encounter a clipped planchet error, where a small section of the coin's edge is missing due to an incomplete blank cutting process. These can range from minor to dramatic clips and are often collectible due to their uniqueness. Next, let's talk about coin condition and grading factors that affect value. Even though we won't mention grading services, understanding how coin condition impacts worth is essential. Coins that have been in circulation for decades will show wear on Washington's hair, the eagle's feathers, and the lettering. But uncirculated or mint state 1977 D quarters, those that never entered circulation and still have full luster and sharp detail, are far more desirable to collectors. A brilliant, lustrous example can fetch several dollars or more, especially when kept in pristine condition. Now we will explore. Today we're talking about the 1978 $quarter coin, one of the most interesting pieces in American coinage history. Whether you're a coin collector, a history enthusiast, or someone curious about the value of old US coins, this video is going to give you all the important details, fun facts, and hidden secrets about the 1978 $quarter coin. The 1978 quarter was part of the Washington Quarter series, first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. The coin continued with the same basic design through 1998 before the State Quarter series began in 1999. The 1978 $quarter features the classic portrait of George Washington on the obverse side, designed by John Flanagan. The word liberty is boldly inscribed above Washington's head, with the phrase "In God We Trust" to the left, and the year 1978 below the portrait. On the reverse, you'll see the famous eagle design with outstretched wings, clutching arrows, and olive branches, symbolizing both strength and peace. Above the eagle are the words United States of America, and below it, $quarter. Now, let's talk about where the 1978 quarters were made. These coins were struck at two mints, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. The Philadelphia quarters from 1978 do not have a mint mark, while the Denver Mint coins carry the small D mark just to the right of Washington's ponytail. No quarters were made in San Francisco that year for circulation, but there were some proof coins struck for collectors. In 1978, the US Mint produced over 800 million quarters. That means the coin itself isn't particularly rare in general circulation. However, when it comes to condition, grade, and mint errors, things can get really interesting. Most 1978 quarters you'll find today are heavily circulated and show lots of wear. But a 1978 quarter in uncirculated or mint state condition can be worth more than face value. For example, in average circulated condition, a 1978 quarter is worth its face value of 25 cents. But if it's in a higher grade, such as MS-65 or MS-67, collectors can pay anywhere from a few dollars up to hundreds depending on the quality and rarity of the strike. Some of the best quality 1978 D quarters have been sold for impressive prices at auctions. A brilliant uncirculated 1978 D quarter graded MS-67 by PCGS once sold for over $400, showing how much value can come from pristine condition coins. Another factor that can add value is mint errors. There are several interesting types of mint errors known for the 1978 quarters. These can include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or struck through grease errors. A double die error can make the lettering or date appear doubled, which is something collectors really look out for. If you ever come across a 1978 quarter that looks slightly different, maybe the lettering looks thicker, doubled, or the design seems slightly off-center, it might be worth examining closely. Era coins from this year can easily bring in anywhere between $50 to several $100 depending on rarity and eye appeal. The composition of the 1978 quarter is another interesting point. These coins were made from a copper-nickel clad composition. That's a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel. The total weight is 5.67 grams, with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters and a reeded edge. Before 1965, US quarters were made of 90% silver, but by 1978, the US Mint had switched completely to the copper-nickel composition. That means most 1978 quarters don't contain any silver, but they're still historically valuable as part of the classic Washington quarter design era. Collectors often look for coins that have original luster, no scratches, sharp details, and full mint brilliance. If you have a 1978 quarter that looks shiny and sharp, it's worth keeping safe, especially if it has no signs of wear or circulation. Always store your coins in a protective holder to prevent further damage. Now, if you're wondering about the proof coins, the 1978's proof quarter was made only for collectors and not for general circulation. These coins were produced at the San Francisco Mint and have a mirror-like finish, with the S Mint mark. They were part of the annual proof sets released by the US Mint. These proof quarters are not rare but still collectible, especially in perfect PR70 condition. So, what makes the 1978 quarter popular among collectors today? First, it's part of the pre-state quarters era, coins that many people remember from daily life before the 50-state quarters program began. Second, it's an affordable starting point for beginner collectors because even high-grade examples are not overly expensive. And third, the coin can have historical or sentimental value, especially for those born in or around 1978. When it comes to grading, professional coin grading services use a numerical scale from 1 to 70 to evaluate the coin's condition. A grade of 60 and above means the coin is uncirculated. A 1978 quarter graded MS65 or MS66 will show sharp details, bright luster, and minimal marks. These high-grade coins are what collectors hunt for in rolls, mint sets, or old collections. Sometimes, collectors also look for full strike examples, coins where all the details on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers are clearly visible. Such coins are harder to find from the Denver Mint in particular, where the strike quality sometimes varied. If you're searching for valuable 1978 quarters, check your pocket change, coin rolls, or old collections. You never know when you might come across a mint state or error example. Always handle your coins carefully, avoid touching the surface with bare fingers, and if you think you've found something special, get it evaluated by an expert or coin dealer. It's also interesting to note how the 1978 quarter fits into the broader timeline of American coinage. It represents the last decade before the state quarter program transformed the design in 1999. That makes it one of the final years of the original eagle reverse design, which had appeared since 1932. Many collectors like to complete full sets from 1932 to 1998, and the 1978 issue is an important link in that long chain. In terms of circulation, millions of these coins are still out there today, but finding one in pristine condition can be surprisingly difficult. Over the decades, normal use has worn down the details on most 1978 quarters, especially the hairlines on Washington's portrait and the feathers on the eagle. Now let's talk about market demand. The value of the 1978 quarter continues to increase slightly over time, particularly for coins in mint state or with unique errors. As collectors and investors look for older coins from the 1970s, demand for well-preserved quarters has been rising. Coins with sharp details and clean fields, especially those from mint sets, are becoming more desirable among modern collectors. If you're starting a coin collection, adding a 1978 quarter is a great way to connect with American history. It tells the story of an era when the US Mint was modernizing production and coin collecting was becoming more popular nationwide. So, to recap the key points, the 1978 quarter features George Washington on the obverse and the heraldic eagle on the reverse. It was made at the Philadelphia and Denver Mints, with proof coins struck in San Francisco.